Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Wright and I currently live in small town Georgia. I was originally raised up north in New Jersey, but I moved down here a little over 6 years ago. I actually have a lot of experience when it comes to young children. I am the oldest out of all of my dad's children, so I was the one who babysat for all of the family members, every cousin, every aunt, every uncle. Like I watched everybody's kids growing up. I also have lots of friends now as an adult that have children, whether it be just like little babies or all the way up to, 10-year-olds now, because I am almost 30. So it's not very uncommon for most of my friends to have children. And given all of my experience with children, I'm usually the first person that they call to babysit. I've been raised, or these kids have all been raised around me since they were born. So I'm just another family member taking care of them. Now, when it comes to more of a formal setting, I was a nanny when I was younger. When I was 18, I was a nanny for a family that lived in my town. They had two children, and I was paid to come and I was there overnight with them because their parents worked overnight. Uh, and yeah, I was their nanny. I took care of them. I was with the family for a good while. After I left my town, I obviously stopped working for them, but that job really stuck out to me and kind of helped push me onto the path that I am now. Now, for the second part of the formal setting, I'm actually a preschool teacher. I just started my third year with the same private preschool. Um, my school focuses on ages 6 weeks to 5 years of age, and I have experience with all of the ages. I'm one of the only teachers that's actually trained to be in every single class. So I can kind of just move around as we need. I work at a Montessori type school, so it's a lot of hands on, it's a lot of play. It's not really based by ages per class, but by skill level. So, I'll have students that are slightly varied in ages in my classes, but they'll all be on the base, like the same base skill levels. This is the best job that I've ever had, and it's bringing me more joy. And it definitely cemented into my mind that I need to be a teacher full time. That's absolutely where I need to be. One concept from the reading that I was familiar with is the actual reading to our students, story time. As someone who is a preschool teacher, books and literature are one of the biggest tools that we use in educating our students and helping them grow at my school. Each classroom in my school has its own little library that has over 30 books. Each class only will have maximum of 12 kids, but we try to have at least two books per kid per class. Some classes, based on donations and everything, we've gotten it up to like 50 books in those classes. We several times a day do story time. We have usually two teachers per class, and we take turns. One will be morning, one will be afternoon, and it's kind of just like you decide that day. Uh, we read to the students from these books, letting them pick out the stories. We start the discussion or the story time with a discussion about the last book we read, seeing if they remember anything from either the morning session or the day before, trying to work on those memory skills. As we start reading, we encourage open discussion as we're reading. Raise your hand, ask a question, say a comment. We're not like, oh, quiet, quiet, quiet. No, we encourage our students to use their language, their vocabulary, get excited about reading, and get way more involved instead of just sitting there struggling to stay still. Because let's be honest, most kids can't really stay still. They're kids. They don't. It happens. You got to work with them, and if they're excited, they're going to move around even more. So why not encourage them to be more involved? After we're done reading, obviously, we'll have another discussion and we'll either ask the kids if they want to read anything from the book or just like if they have any thoughts, any concerns, anything like that. We encourage the open communication. Our students love story time, and it's gotten to the point where we're asked several times a day, even though we already do it twice. They're like, when are we doing it again? In the reading for this assignment, we learned that there are at least three critical categories in early literacy: oral language comprehension, I can't say that word, awareness, and print knowledge. As a preschool teacher, one of the biggest areas I've been working on with my students, especially the younger students, is oral language comprehension. Now, it is widely accepted and known that written language comprehension is a much harder skill to learn and to grasp. But it is common knowledge that students need a firm understanding and groundwork built on oral language comprehension before they can even move on to written language. Well, there wasn't really anything new in the article to me specifically, given my background and job. I do think a lot of good points were made and clarified with extra information given. And even if I already knew the point or I knew the extra information, it's always great to see multiple examples so you understand it better. And there was one point that really stood out to me, which is the importance of play and literacy. And the example they gave was of the food server and the customer. That is a game that my students play all of the time. And the school that I work for, like I've mentioned before, is a Montessori style of learning. So we focus on hands-on learning, play, one-on-one with the teacher, or just like smaller groups. And the point that they were making in this article about the importance of play and the example they gave directly aligns with the Montessori line of teaching. Um, I don't really know how to ever end these videos after I answer all of the questions. So I just really want to say that getting an early childhood education was one of the best decisions I've ever made for my life. Being able to watch children grow, learn, understand, and become independent is one of the most amazing, rewarding feelings ever. Um, I'm really excited to see what this class has to offer and how it's going to help me continue on that journey. Thank y'all for your time.